Would you trust a craft store with your next 3D print? Hobby Lobby PLA that was $14.99 or Anycubic PLA that was $15.99? Almost the same price, completely different source. So today we're not just printing benchies and calling it good, we're printing a whole bunch of different things to compare these two PLAs. We're running a calibration cube, a benchy, our Goblin head with lots of details on it, as well as printing one of our bridges that we're going to test for strength with our force meter. And then something that actually really matters, a bag end dice tower. Because it's one thing to print a cube and it's a whole other thing to print Middle Earth. I'm Brian DeLuca and this is MakerBuildIt, and today we're going to find out if Hobby Lobby Filament belongs in your printer or in the craft aisle. So let's get all of our test pieces printed. So we got everything printed up. We have our calibration cube, we have our benchy, we have our detailed Goblin heads, and we have our bridges. Now we also printed the doors for this Hobbit inspired dice tower in them also, so we're going to look at them because they have some functioning parts and we'll see how they work. So first, let's look at the calibration cube. Oh, before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the differences in these two filaments. Now, one of the biggest things I noticed is the Anycubic filament is much brighter of a white than the Hobby Lobby filament, and shinier. This one is a little more matted. The other thing I really noticed is the supports came off a lot easier off the Hobby Lobby filament than they did off the Anycubic filament. Now let's check out the calibration cube. Everything was printed with the same settings. This is the Hobby Lobby one and this is the Anycubic one. I do see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I do see a little bit more of the layer lines in the Hobby Lobby filament than I do in the Anycubic. So this one I can see a little bit more layer line. Let's see how they measure. So this is the Hobby Lobby calibration cube. 20.07. So this is the Anycubic calibration cube, 20.02. So this one's slightly more accurate because a calibration cube should be 20 by 20 by 20. Let's take a look at the benchy. So this is the Hobby Lobby one. This is the Anycubic one. I can see a little bit more of the layer lines, I feel like, in the Hobby Lobby one. But overall, they look pretty good. I would say, if anything, on the Hobby Lobby one, I don't know if you can see that, but right in there, it's a little bit of a layer line. But both of them look pretty decent. Let's take a look at the Goblin heads. This is where I feel you can really see the difference in the coloration. This is the Anycubic, which is a little bit shinier. Both of them actually have pretty decent skin detail. And let's look at the top. I feel like I see a little more layer line in this one. Up in here, I can see like some striations of the layer lines. Where here, it's a little cleaner in the Anycubic one, but they're pretty close. They both look really, really good. Here's the Hobbit doors. So both of them are functioning parts. They're hinged. This is the Hobby Lobby one, and this is the Anycubic one. They both look about the same. They're about the same quality. Here's the pin in this Anycubic one. You see it slides in and clicks in nicely. Let's test it on the actual dice tower. So first, let's try the Anycubic one. Slides, oh, let's move these dice. Slides right in, and the hinge works. So that was a simple pin hinge, and this is a more complicated pin hinge. And if you're interested in how to build these hinges, I do have a full video on it. Or if you're interested in downloading this dice tower, you could do so on my site. I'll put the link in the description below. And so that pin went in pretty good. And once again, the door is functioning. Looks pretty good. I would say that's about even. Actually, you know what's interesting? you can really see the difference in the material. So as you can see, this is the Hobby Lobby filament versus the Anycubic. So I don't know if that's really coming out on camera, but you can really see the difference in the coloring between the two. Definitely the Anycubic is a much brighter white, and this is definitely a little more matte. And I wouldn't say it's off-white, but it is definitely not as bright white. Now for our final test, we're going to use our force meter to test the strength of each of these PLAs using our bridge test. Let me just clean this desk up a little bit. First, we're going to test the Anycubic filament. Okay, our force meter is zeroed out, and we're measuring in newtons. It looks like it broke around, I want to say around 25 newtons. And you can really hear this Anycubic cracked under the force. Sometimes, you know, PLA bends. So as you can see, it really cracked, the Anycubic. It started actually breaking apart. This is the Hobby Lobby filament. Okay, so it looked like that one broke at around, I would say around the same. Both of them were probably around 25 to 28 newtons, and I'll put it on the screen what the actual results were. But actually very similar, cracked. So the Hobby Lobby, actually what's interesting is, let's look at the top of it. This is the Anycubic. You see it started breaking through it, and it totally cracked it. This one actually cracked the outer wall and cracked down here. This crack seems a little more brittle than this one. This one seems a little more bendy. Like this PLA seems to have bent a little better, which was the Hobby Lobby PLA. Okay, so the Anycubic filament broke at about 25 newtons of force, and the Hobby Lobby filament broke at about 28 newtons of force. I mean, pretty close, but the Hobby Lobby filament did take a little more pressure to actually break. So what's the verdict on this? Considering they were roughly in the same price range, Hobby Lobby was $14.99 and the Anycubic was $15.99 at the time of purchase. Well, I guess here's what matters. When it came to detail, both of these actually performed decently well. I did see a few more layer lines within the Hobby Lobby filament, but the details themselves on the Goblin head came out well. The dice tower doors, the function parts, once again, both worked really well, so they were really even there. Hobby Lobby's filament was slightly stronger. It took more force to break. So I would say that's roughly the same amount. I do feel that the Anycubic filament printed slightly cleaner because I could see some of the layer lines in the calibration cube as well as the Benchy for the Hobby Lobby filament. But overall, it seems like you really can't go wrong with either one of these filaments. I think it would probably really come down to your preference in terms of color. Now, the Hobby Lobby filament is a very flat white. It's almost like a flat white paint, like a primer color. Maybe that's probably the best way to explain it. Where the Anycubic is a little bit more of a glossy looking PLA. And remember, results will also vary by the printer you're using, your settings, and your environment. These are just the results from my settings, using the same settings for both filaments on the P2S. Either way, based on the results of this test, you really can't go wrong. Let me know in the comments if you would try a filament from a craft store or you're going to stick to a dedicated 3D printing brand. If you're interested in more real-world testing instead of marketing claims, make sure you hit the subscribe button. For more on 3D printing, DIY, and maker projects, make sure you like and follow MakerBuildIt, and remember, keep on making. Oh, and remember, in the world of 3D printing, even the smallest spool can help decide the fate of the Shire.